What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined by my co-host, Joey Wright. What's up, Joey?
Not much. Here to play some Fortune. I'm excited for the day. I've got my coffee. Yeah,
it couldn't be better, guys.
I'm just here.
Also joining us today, we've got great friend of the show and maybe the sexiest man on fantasy football Twitter, Davis Peng, joining us today. For those of you that do not know Peng, he is a fantasy football writer with Fantasy Six-Pack and Stokastic.com, and we're hyped to have you on with us today, my man.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I literally appreciate being on here every single time. And if I'm not on here, I'm probably eating a bucket of fried chicken watching you guys play your guys' games.
Oh, God.
You would be surprised how often that comes up.
Now you make me want to watch us and eat fried chicken. I want to watch Joey and JL just play games while I'm eating a bucket of fried chicken. That sounds like a dream Thursday afternoon.
Why can't we just eat fried chicken like on the stream?
We probably could. We probably could. It's been a minute since I've had some really good fried chicken. We might have to do that one of these days. Albert in the chat. What's up, Albert? Good afternoon. What's up, Albert? We got Dustin in here. What's up, Dustin? Glad to have you in here. And we've got Team 2 show, Joey. Yeah, we got 2 shows today, guys. We're going to be playing some Fantasy Fortune with Peng, like we talked about already. But then right after this at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time, Joey and I will be live on this channel right here on Front Yard Fantasy for our first fantasy football office hours of the season, doing nothing but answering fantasy questions as long as you guys have them or until 5 p.m. hits. Those are the 2 options right there. But we'll be over there for at least 45 minutes or around 45 minutes answering fantasy football questions for you. We got Dame Overlord in the chat.
Hold on.
All hail Dame. Hail Dame.
I don't know if we should bring this up, but Dame, like, where are you in the hierarchy after today's very unfortunate news? Are you moving up with Queen Elizabeth passing away, or like what's going on with that?
Oh, I was waiting for Dame to respond like she was sitting here on the stream with us. So I just immediately was like, and Dame, what is your response to that right there?
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting.
We got Dave in the chat. What's up, Toronto? Dave, he said, a little love for JL for my cameo in his route video. Shout out, Dave. Always coming in with the tooties. I appreciate you, Dave. Glad that you're here. And Dave saying, Davis, I love you.
I knew that already, Dave. You didn't have to tell me that. My God.
I know it, and I want you to tell me
Thanks,
all the
Daddy.
time. I love hearing it. And Mr. Scamper saying hello. What's up, Mr. Scampers? Glad to have you in here. Hey, guys, I see some questions in here. We're going to answer questions throughout today's show, but if we do not get to it, a reminder, like I said just a minute ago, we are going to have office hours right after this, 15 minutes after this show ends, where we are doing nothing but answering your questions. Jason, now I want fried chicken for dinner. Me too. And Jay also said, hashtag Team Daddy. You got a cheering section down there, Peng. Curly in the chat reporting for duty. Thank you, Curly, for showing up today. And Dame said, I think I'm the queen of the world now. Yeah, that checks out.
There you go, Dame.
David, you're saying, always worth saying. I love you, Simon. I love you, Joey. I love FYF. Well, we love us some Dave right there.
Yes.
Guys, as I already mentioned, we are playing Fantasy Fortune today. I've got some puzzles prepared. Before we do that, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our daddy, our guest, Davis Peng, go and follow him right now on Twitter. He's at Peng's Picks FF. It's right there below his face on the screen. So just go on over to his Twitter account, hit that follow button. Truly one of the best in the space and one of our good friends over here at FYF. After you do that, if you're watching this video, it means you likely are already on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is the easiest way to support what we're doing over here. And then like the video while you're here if you enjoy what we're doing. And like it if you don't, because I just need the little boost today. You know what I mean? I could really use that little bit of like a serotonin that comes from extra likes on the video. Guys, are you ready to get into some Fantasy Fortune?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Okay, before we do that, though, it was a tease. I see a question from Max in here. He says, Brandon Cooks or Darnell Mooney this week? Joey, what are you thinking on this one?
Man, I'll tell you what. I love me some Brandon Cooks, but yeah, I'm probably going Brandon Cooks. I'm not going to get cute. I know Simon messaged me. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm going Cooks.
Going Cooks. Peng, what about you?
Oh, God. I think that's probably the same answer I would go with. They faced the Colts week 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like their corners too much. I feel like Cooks could probably get one off. Maybe like more in a PPR setting than you will like as a full speedster. And plus, Davis Mills looked really good last half of the second half of the season, so I think he takes it up a notch. Plus, that line isn't bad. Like, not as bad as the Bears line.
Yeah, I'm like the world's biggest Darnell Mooney guy. These are both guys I'd be comfortable starting this week. Like, I really would love to have both in my lineup. If you're having to make this decision, that probably means you've got a pretty good wide receiver core, Max. If like these are the two guys you're deciding between starting, but I would love to have one of them in my flex. If I have to decide, I'll go Brandon Cooks. And it's just that 49ers matchup. And as much as I believe in this Bears offense improving this year, I want to see that they're going to use Justin Fields properly. Like, I believe that it's going to happen. I believe that the offense last year was just a crime against humanity that Matt Nagy made us all suffer and watch. But it'll be nice to see it. And the 49ers are quite the test at the beginning of the season to see if Justin Fields is getting any better. But Brandon Cooks from all three of us on that one.
I had Mooney as my wide receiver 26 and then Cooks as my 18. So I was correct in my assessment.
There you go.
I really wouldn't be surprised if they put up the same numbers anyways. It's it just wouldn't surprise me.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Schmid, what's up? I think this is my cousin in here. Glad to have you in here hanging out with us for the show today. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the game board for today.
All right.
This is the game we're playing. We are playing Fantasy Fortune. I'm going to explain how this works. It's a lot like the popular TV show Wheel of Fortune, but with an NFL or fantasy twist. So instead of spinning the wheel, contestants are going to be answering 50-50 NFL questions. Get the question right, you're going to get to guess a letter that you think is in the puzzle. If the letter, excuse me, guys, that mac and cheese is coming back up. That's hot, right?
I would pay for
That's
that.
Sexy. If the letter is on the board, you're going to get $500 per letter that shows up at any point during your turn, except after a question has been asked. There are two other actions you can take. You can decide to purchase a vowel, which is going to cost $100 per instance that it shows up to a max of 500. If there's more than 5 of that vowel, we'll just charge you $500 for the vowels right there. But that does mean you have to have a minimum of $500 in your round bank in order to buy a vowel during the game. You can also choose to solve the puzzle at any time during your turn, except after a question's been asked. If you solve the puzzle, you will get a minimum of $1,000 added to your total bank. Not 1,000 plus whatever you've earned in the round, but a minimum of 1,000. If you've got 1,500 and you solve the puzzle, you're going to get 1,500 right there. During your turn, you can go up to 3 times in a row if you are getting the questions properly and guessing letters that are actually in the puzzle. After that third time, though, you're going to have 5 seconds to solve the puzzle. We will add all of the money that you'd earn during that time period to your total bank, but we're going to move on to the next contestant. And then whoever has the most money at the end of the game, whenever we run out of time or run out of puzzles, will be our champion for today. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Oh, never.
Let's do it.
Literal never.
One more reminder to our contestants, while a puzzle is on the board, make sure you're in the private chat, not in the comments. And to everybody watching, the reason I'm telling them that is because I want you guys to guess in the chat. Throw your answers in if you think you solved the puzzle. We'll shout you out if you're right. We'll shout you out if you're funny. And we'll make fun of you if you are very, very wrong. We'll just mock you relentlessly. Absolutely. It's the best part of the show.
And as usual, Dame, I got my phone right here. So.
Perfect. Yeah, just Dame, if you could just text Joey the answers, make sure he keeps his winning streak up. Dave's another toonie in here. He said, please add $1 each for Joey and Davis.
Thank you.
I can do that.
I'm going to get chicken right after this. Yeah,
Simon, I'd like to bring something up. The last time Toronto Dave gave us money earlier in the show, you forgot to dance.
I did forget
or
to
show
dance.
a nip.
Woo! Is that better, Joey?
Yeah, and then you need to dance for this time.
Okay. And this one's going to be without the sound
We've set
effect.
precedents on the show. We have to adhere to them.
And Dustin, then you're saying you should never run out of puzzles. Guys, this first puzzle is going to be a little bit different than the rules I just explained. This is a toss-up. So I'm going to slowly reveal letters in this puzzle. If you think you know who it is, yell your name. If you get it right, you're going to get $500. Angel gets to go first in our next puzzle. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. I'm going to start revealing letters. Yell your name when you think you know who it is.
Oh, Davis. Matthew Stafford.
Good job.
It is Matthew Stafford. Davis, that is absolutely correct. That is going to give you $500. Angel gets to go first in the next round.
Job.
Going into tonight's game, I know there was concerns about Matthew Stafford's elbow injury. He started sliding down draft boards towards the ends of the season, but all reports that I'm seeing today are saying that he's a full go. He's ready to go. He had the surgery and he's totally fine. Are you guys nervous about starting Matthew Stafford tonight in week 1?
Yes, I'm not a huge fan of the matchup. I'm very big on matchup based when I'm doing my rankings every week, and the Bills are, top 5 in every statistical category when it comes to fantasy points allowed. So I'm a little nervous about Stafford. I said earlier today that I might get cute and start Jameis Winston over him this week because I just love Jameis's matchup. I'm yet determined if I'm actually going to do that, but I'm a little worried about Stafford tonight, to be honest. I don't like the matchup at all.
And what about you?
I think Joey broke it down well. Like if you're talking about for season long, not a problem. I have so much Stafford in best ball. It's probably as much as his actual how much he's making per year at this point. But I think this week, just because it's opening week on a Thursday, I'm never happy playing a Thursday game, let alone week 1's Thursday game. So unless I get someone like Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins tier, some secondary QB, which most people wouldn't have that anyways because most people are 1 QB leagues. I can't imagine starting Stafford. But if you drafted him, I don't know what you can do. I don't know if you could drop somebody in your week 1 to pick up a quarterback. So
Yeah.
I think if you have him, like that's kind of what you have to deal with because what are you going to do? Pick up Carson Wentz? So you're going to pick up, hope that Kirk Cousins might be on your waiver in some leagues, but probably I don't know. Not. Most competitive 12-man leagues are not going to have them. I mean, so I would kind of have to. I just don't see anything else that you could do because I'm not dropping any of my bench guys right now because I drafted those bench guys specifically to see what they do in week 1.
Yeah.
Right. So
Scott Fishing, you're saying the only nervousness should be the matchup.
Exactly. Yeah.
But not saying anything about the elbow. And it sounds like you guys are maybe on the same page there.
Yeah.
And Tim said Tre'Davious White is on the pup and they're starting a rookie smash Stafford tonight. So he's in on Matthew Stafford tonight.
Robinson and Cup. That just sounds like a dream come true. Like that's something I wish my fantasy rosters were last year before, Robinson called it quits.
Yeah. Scott, and you're saying I have something cool to show you, Joey. Hit me up next week.
So thank you, Scott. I appreciate you saying this, but now I'm going to just be like, oh my God, what is it for like a week? So thank you for that.
That's like my pet peeve, Joey. It's like whenever someone texts you, can I ask you a question? Yes. And I'll do it immediately. You now have 2 minutes to respond to my yes, or you are being ridiculous for asking if you can ask a question because I'm not accomplishing anything else until that question's been asked. I'm going to sit there staring at my phone, thinking about what you needed to ask me until you asked me.
Simon, can I ask you a question real quick?
I'll fight you. Absolutely not. Davis, we're going to add that $500 to your total money right here. And we're going to move on.
This is real life money, right?
Cole's cash. We'll send it to you in Cole's cash if that's all right.
Yes.
Honestly, it's more valuable than money. You are going to get to go first in this puzzle, Pang, and the category is horrible team names. So these are team names that I subjectively think are just absolutely awful fantasy football team names for this year. But are you ready for your first question?
Yes.
Okay. And then, guys, I see some questions in the chat. We're going to hit these after this puzzle. But a reminder that right after this show at 4:15 Eastern time, we will be live for Fantasy Football Office Hours, where all we're doing is answering your questions. But we'll hit some of these throughout the show today as well. Peng, here is your first question. And we're actually going to start with some props from tonight's game from the FanDuel Sportsbook. So we are taking a trip on over to the FanDuel Sportsbook. My question for you, Davis, is according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, which of these players is the most favored to be an anytime touchdown scorer tonight? So to score a touchdown at any point during tonight's game, and whenever I say more favored, it's like not the better odds to bet on, but the better odds of happening right there. Just wanted to clarify. So who is considered the favorite to be an anytime touchdown scorer tonight? Is it Isaiah McKenzie or is it Tyler Higbee?
I think Tyler Higbee.
It is Tyler Higbee at plus 200 versus Isaiah McKenzie at plus 340.
Oh, shoot.
Nice job on that one, Davis. Which letter would you like?
I was going to make a joke guess, but S.
There are 4 S's in this puzzle. Gonna add. Oh, I'm not changing your name. I'm adding 2,000 to your score. So now you got 3 options. You can solve, you can buy a vowel, or you can take another question.
I would like to buy a vowel.
Buy a vowel. Also, Joey, I know you're not in the comments right now, so just
not.
to make things worse, I wanted to put this up there. Scott said, "Holy crap, I am excited to show Joey this thing next week." So not only does he have something to show you, but he's excited about showing it to you.
Oh,
God,
Scott
it's
Fish,
erotic.
thank you so much.
Okay, you wanted another question, Peng?
Buy a vowel, please.
Buy a vowel. Which vowel would you like?
A.
A. I'm sorry, there are no A's in this puzzle, which means
Okay.
we're moving on to Joey. Joey, would you like a question? Would you like to solve, or would you like to quit the show and never come
I'd like
back?
a question. I think I might know
Okay.
the first word, but
That's a good option.
Mhm.
Joey, who is more favored to be an anytime touchdown scorer tonight? Who has the better odds to be an anytime touchdown scorer?
Mhm.
And just to clarify, these are rushing or receiving touchdowns. A passing touchdown does not qualify.
Okay.
Is it Cam Akers or is it Josh Allen?
I'm gonna say Josh Allen.
I'm sorry, it was
No?
Cam Akers at plus 115 compared to Josh Allen at plus 160, which means we are moving back over to Davis. Davis, what do you want to do? Do you want to buy a vowel? Would you like a question, or would you like to solve?
I'll buy a vowel. Give me an O.
An O. Let's see. There is one O in this puzzle.
Oh,
That's going to
God.
cost you $100. Would you like to buy another vowel? Would you like another question, or would you like to solve?
I'll take a question.
Another question. Also, Joe, you're not alone. Schmid in here said Josh Allen and then said, damn it, immediately after there.
I think my Cam Akers hate has just gone too far into my head. So
I think a lot of us fantasy guys kind of are in that boat right now where we're just like, what is he going to do? You know, is he even going to be on the field? Is he even going to be effective kind of thing? So
Yeah,
I feel you.
it is. It's definitely tough to gauge that one right there. My question for you, Peng, is, who is currently projected to have more receiving yards during the game tonight, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook? So the over-under for their receiving yards, they're all at minus 110, all the ones I'm going to be asking you about. But which one has the higher over-under for receiving yards tonight? Is it Allen Robinson or is it Gabriel Davis?
Allen Robinson?
It is Allen Robinson, but only by about 5 yards, 62.5 to Gabriel Davis at 57.5. Which letter would you like, Peng?
H.
An H. I'm sorry, there are no H's in
Okay.
this puzzle. Joey,
I
would you
gotta
like a
make
question?
I want a question. I gotta make a comeback here.
Hey, you do got to make a comeback.
Yeah.
My question for you, Joey, is which of these players is more favored to be an anytime touchdown scorer in tonight's game? We're going to go with another one of these. Which one of these players is more favored to be an anytime touchdown scorer in tonight's game? Is it Darrell Henderson or is it Zach Moss?
Darrell Henderson.
It is Darrell Henderson at plus
Okay.
260 compared to Zach Moss at plus 360.
Wow.
Which letter would you like?
L.
An L. Let's see if we have an L in here. There are 2 L's in this puzzle, Joe. We can add 1,000. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like
Yes.
another question? Oh,
I would like to
vowel, right
buy
there.
a U.
A U. There are 2 U's in this puzzle. Going to subtract 200. What would you like to do now? Would you like a question? Would you like to solve, or would you like to buy another vowel?
I would like a question.
Also, I saw Bob Harrison here. What's up, Bob? Welcome
Bob.
in. And he said, no such thing as too much Cam Akers hate. So, Joey, if you got the go-ahead from Bob Harris, I think you're good to just keep
Bob, I
on
like your
hating.
cow. Thank
I do. Did you know cows are my favorite animal, Bob? Number 1 favorite animal. I have a cow tattooed on my body. Probably way bigger than anybody should have a cow tattooed on their body.
Davis, what's your favorite animal?
Oh God. It's weird. I don't have one, but I'm just really into birds. I just think birds are hilarious. They're just all pudgy little guys that can fly around. I think that's just hilarious to me. Like look at a pigeon. It has they all have pot bellies and they all fly. And I think that's hilarious to me.
That's pretty cool. I like raccoons. Go ahead, Simon.
Raccoons are great.
Trash
I am
pandas?
generally scared of birds, like large birds, but the kind of birds that I do like are the ones that are so little they don't walk, they hop. Know what I'm talking about? Where like they can't walk individually, but they just hop around all the time on their little bird feet. I love those birds. They crack me up every time.
Oh, ducks. There we go. I like
Ducks are
a lot.
great. I had a pet duck one time, and I've told this story on stream. We're not going to bring Kelly back up. It made everyone cry last time. Joey, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Can I solve?
You can solve, absolutely.
Oh, no.
Russell sprouts.
It is Russell Sprouts, Joey. Russell Sprouts is the horrible team name. In the chat, got this one a little bit ago. Dustin and Dame both coming in at 219 about 3 minutes ago with Russell Sprouts. Nice job, guys.
I had Russell a while ago, and I just couldn't get that second word down there.
Yeah, I have no idea what that would have. I had no idea what that was going to be.
I thought it was Russell Scholes for a minute, and I was like, "Where am I getting Russell Scholes from?" It's like Dr. Scholes, like I don't. And then it hit me.
Also, Mr. Scaver said this one is horrible, Simon. That's the name of the category. Thank you. You know what? Usually people come in and go, "That's not bad. You know, that's actually a pretty good team name." And I'm glad I finally picked one that was bad enough for you guys.
I've seen the Travis Etienne one across many leagues.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if people are watching the show, but a lot of people are using that
ETN season. Well, I didn't come up with that one. That one was found on Twitter, and I just thought it was a horrible team name. Put it in there. I didn't come up with this one either. Not in there. Also, Scott Fish, and you're saying Bob. Bob Harris saying Scott, and then Kevin saying Scott and Bob. Yeah, we got a squad in here today. Curly in here with the beef greater than chicken take. Absolutely not. Chicken over beef.
Curly
10 days a week. Peng, where do you stand on this debate?
I'm sorry. I have to go with the beef. Beef is just so good.
I hope you lose today, Davis.
I probably will. I deserve it too if I do.
Also, a couple people in the chat I saw put in here. Panthers added CMC to the injury report with a shin issue. Still practicing in full, but man, that has to scare people who drafted him. Any fear about CMC because of this, or just until he's not practicing, not an issue?
Yeah, if he's practicing, I'm still okay. It's the guys that aren't practicing on Thursdays when I start worrying a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't really think it matters. I mean, they rested him all preseason. He's CMC. If anyone's drafted him at all out in the first, even the second round, I would say you're not scared because you're that's a high capital value on a guy that's been missing 2 seasons now. So can't be scared about a shin issue. If that scares you, you should have no business taking him.
Yeah, I'm not taking that one right here. And Scott, I'm going to be honest, I don't get this reference, but I'm going to read it anyways. And I hope you're not anchorman in me right here. He said the fact that Lace Cousins Dangereux hasn't been a team name puzzle makes me sad. You know how long that would take to answer? It may take every letter to get. Joey, do you know the reference? If you don't,
I mean, I think it's a Kirk Cousins reference, or not a Les Miles reference. It's a Kirk Cousins reference. Scott's going to come in here and be like, Joey, it's from a movie. You should have known that. And then I'm going to feel like an idiot.
It's from the Grinch sequel, I think, is where that came from. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Guys, let's move on to our next puzzle. Before we do that, though, I did want to answer some of these questions. We got Owen in here. He said, need some advice, y'all. T. Higgins or Mike Williams this week? Peng, where are you going on this one? Are you starting T. Higgins or Mike Williams?
I want Mike Williams.
Joey, what about you?
I'll take Higgins. They're almost back to back in my rankings though. So once again, good problem to have.
Peng, what gives you the confidence for Williams over Higgins?
Well, I think the quarterback's the same. Obviously, they think they're the same tier player. Mike Williams a little bit. Herbert a little bit higher, but I really enjoy the fact that Mike Williams is not normally in a 50-50 with Keenan Allen. I feel like T. Higgins is a 50-50 with Jamar Chase on every week. I think we saw that a lot in the playoffs last year where like T. Higgins went off and then he didn't do anything the week after and Jamar Chase went off. So I feel like Mike Williams does something totally different than what Keenan Allen does. So if he does go off, it's very particular what he can do versus they're not fighting for the same type of targets, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And maybe that's just kind of maybe some lower end analysis on that, but that's how I just view it from a fantasy standpoint. I feel like that's the case for that one.
No, and this one's close for me. These guys are very close to my rankings, but I'm excited about the Raiders-Chargers matchup. Like that should be a high-scoring game, and so that makes me kind of want to lean towards Mike Williams right here. I feel like the upside in that game is a little bit higher than the upside for T in the other game, but those guys are so good. Yeah, this is a great problem to have, Owen. I'm a QT poet wants to know, hey, would you guys start Russell Wilson or Tom Brady this week? Russell Wilson going up against his former team, the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers are playing the Cowboys this week. So, Joey, what's it going to be, Tom Brady or Russell Wilson?
I love the revenge game narrative, and they were so close to my full season rankings. I like the idea of a primetime game for Brady, but I think Russell Wilson's really going to have a good time out there against Seattle.
Peng, what about you? Where are you leaning on this one?
Oh God. I want to say Russell. it's tough. I think the one thing that kind of makes you not want to take Russell is because they had that week 1 last year with Tom Brady versus the Cowboys, and that game was probably one of the craziest shootouts on that Thursday. I'm only afraid that Russell gets goal lined, right? Like, I feel like the issue I'm going to have is that Javonte Williams or Melvin Gordon runs in a touchdown or two, and now that's your opportunity for points are probably gone. But give me Russell, but not by a lot. It's a very
good problem to have.
I was going to say these guys are literally back to back for me. Russell Wilson ahead of Tom Brady, but
plus
I'll go Russell Wilson, but I'm not mad either way.
Plus the Bucs O-line's a little bit behind, and against a pass rush that is the Cowboys is a bit scary when you're playing with no interior linemen.
Good point. Yeah.
Absolutely. One more before we go on to the next one right here. We got CCAC Sports in here. Wants to know, would you start Brady versus? Oh, it's the same exact question that we just answered. Maybe I should read.
I'm actually going to go Tom Brady against Cowboys.
Based on
backtrack.
Just going to change my answer entirely on that one. Guys, let's jump into our next question. Our next puzzle right here. I'm a reminder to everybody in the chat. We are answering questions throughout the show today, but if we don't get to your question because we're playing a game right after this at 4:15, we are live on our YouTube channel for Fantasy Football Office Hours, doing nothing but answering your questions. Also, Truly Epic, what's up? Welcome back in here. He said, back in the swing of fantasy football. It's Hunter Renfro time, baby. I forgot we had the #1 Hunter Renfro fan in the chat as well. I'm going to load up this next puzzle. Here we go. Puzzle 3. And this is NFL teammates. These are guys that are on the same team.
Are you sure?
Who solved the last one? Joey, I am sure this time. Yeah. These guys are actually on the same team. After I made that mistake once, I never made that mistake again. Actually, that's a lie. Do you remember in Jeopardy, whenever I made a mistake in a puzzle, had a misspelling, and it said, I promise there's no more mistakes in this category. Open up the next question, and it's blank. I just didn't write one in there, left it entirely blank, completely empty.
And then you made a question up. Yeah.
That's what's probably going to happen here is that these guys won't be on the same team. But Davis, it is your turn. Are you ready for your question?
Yes. Oh, God.
Okay. We're going to do some ADP questions right now. And this is according to NFFC ADP data from the last 2 weeks. Okay. So I want to know is who was getting drafted earlier over the last 2 weeks, according to NFFC PPR ADP, who was getting drafted earlier. Was it DeAndre Swift or was it Leonard Fournette?
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift is absolutely correct. Peng, which letter would you like?
Give me a D.
D. There's one D in this puzzle. Going to add 500. You can buy a vowel. You can take another question, or you can solve.
I'll take another question.
Another question. We're going to stick with some ADP questions. My question for you is, who is currently being drafted earlier according to this NFFC ADP? Is it Mike Evans or is it DJ Moore?
PPR?
PPR.
Give me Mike Evans.
It is Mike Evans. Nice job. Wide receiver 26 or 26 overall compared to DJ Moore at 33 overall. Which letter would you like?
Give me an M.
An M. Let's see if there's an M in this puzzle. There are 2 M's in this puzzle. Going to add another 1,000. Now, Davis, this will be your last opportunity to buy vowels this turn if you would like to do so, since we're going into round 3, or we can just go straight into that third question. Get it right, you're going to bank this money.
Can I get a question, please?
Absolutely, you can get a question. My question for you, we're going to stick with some ADP, is who's being drafted earlier? Is it Darren Waller or is it Jerry Jeudy?
Darren Waller.
I'm sorry, it is Jerry Jeudy by about a round, which means we are going to move on to Joey. Joey, are you ready for your question?
He's staring at it too. I have no idea.
Or would you like to solve this puzzle?
Question. I think I have the first name. Go ahead.
Okay. My question for you is, who is being drafted earlier? And all of these questions, same PPR, NFFC, ADP. I'm going to stop repeating it. Okay. But who is being drafted earlier? Is it Michael Thomas or is it DK Metcalf?
Oh, God, that's a good one. And this is NFCC?
Yeah, NFFC.
I'll say DK.
DK is absolutely correct. Joey, nice job. Which letter would you like?
L?
There are no L's
Not who I
in
thought it
this
was.
puzzle,
Okay.
which means we're back to you, Davis. You ready for your question?
Yes, sirs.
Let's do it. Here is my question for you. We're gonna move on over to some PPR leaders from last season. So this is just PPR fantasy scores. All questions are going to be in PPR if I don't say it, so you can just assume PPR. Which of these players scored more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Adam Thielen or was it Cole Beasley?
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen's absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
Can I get an R?
You can get an R, and there are 2 R's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000 to your score. What would you like next? A question? A vowel?
Another question. Another question.
Another question. He doesn't want to give any vowels to Joey over there. My question for you is, who scored more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Elijah Mitchell or was it Chase Edmonds?
PPR again, you said? Oh, sorry. It was Elijah Mitchell and who?
Chase Edmonds.
Elijah Mitchell?
Elijah Mitchell's absolutely correct with 165 points to Chase Edmonds, 143. They both played in exactly 12 games, so they missed the same amount of time. Which letter would you like, Davis?
Can I get an S?
You can get an S, and there are 2 S's in this puzzle. You can buy a vowel here. This is your last chance unless it comes back to you, or you can just take your third and final question of this round.
I got to take my third and final question. I have no idea what these going to be are. So
okay, we're going to stick with some ADP, PPR fantasy points from last season. Who scored more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Mecole Hardman or was it Van Jefferson?
Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson's correct by about 30 points.
The minute you said Mecole Hardman, I was going to say whatever option 2 is probably going to score more than Mecole Hardman.
Which letter would you like, Davis? Get this letter right. You bank all this money.
Can I get an H?
An H. There is 1 H in this puzzle. You're going to bank this money regardless, Davis, but you've got 5 seconds to solve. Otherwise, we're going to Joey.
I don't know, man.
Okay, we are going to move on to Joey. Joey, would you like to solve?
Isaiah McKenzie and Jamison Crowder.
Oh my gosh.
It is Isaiah McKenzie and Jamison Crowder. Joey, that's going to add $1,000 to your round.
Good lettering, Davis. Good job, buddy.
Oh, he's a great letterer.
Yeah.
He's a sexy letterer. Just all the letters look great. And Tim in here a couple minutes ago with Jamison Crowder and Isaiah McKenzie. Nice job, Tim.
I thought the first name was Elijah Mitchell. And then I was trying to think who won the 49ers, and I couldn't. And then
Dustin did guess Elijah Mitchell in the chat as well. And Dame celebrating Tim and Mr. Scampers with a boink instead of a bonk for Tim getting that one correct. Tim, you get a boink from Mr. Scampers for getting that one right. And Dustin wants to know, why is it always Jamison Crowder? Because we love Jamison Crowder. Craig loves Jamison Crowder. And we love Craig. Josh in here saying, damn it. What's up, Josh? Hey, Josh. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here.
So Josh was one of the grooms of my wedding. Pull his picture back up. I have long thought you two were like dead ringers for each other.
You think so?
It's like the blonde hair, the glasses. You guys talk alike. You look the same way. I mean, just everything. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Simon looks better in a cowboy hat, though. Pretty sure.
Maybe.
We'll have to see Josh in a cowboy hat. I feel like my head is more melony is the only difference. Like my head is more basketball shaped and Josh has a real nice shaped head.
So no, Josh has definitely photoshopped that picture. No, I'm kidding. That's exactly what it looks like.
But just a beautiful shape of your head, Josh. Yes. Mine is just like round like a melon or a basketball or anything else that you can name that's perfectly spherical. Before we move on to our next puzzle, guys, I just want to ask you about Isaiah McKenzie and Jamison Crowder. So early in the offseason, I was drafting a lot of Jamison Crowder, expecting him to be the slot guy in that offense. But all the noises coming out of camp are saying that it's Isaiah McKenzie that's going to be playing as the primary person in that slot role. Are you buying that? Do you think it's going to be Isaiah McKenzie? And is that slot receiver role going to be as valuable as it was for Cole Beasley last year in fantasy? Joey, what do you think?
I think we're going to find out a lot tonight. I was exactly in the same boat with you. I was drafting a lot of Jamison Crowder this offseason. And then everything coming out of Buffalo kept saying Isaiah McKenzie. So I started drafting a lot more Isaiah McKenzie. I was looking at the over and unders on Underdog earlier today and saw that Isaiah McKenzie's was like 3 receptions. And I think he's going to smash that tonight. I like Isaiah McKenzie a little more now, just because of everything we're hearing coming out of Buffalo.
I've hedged a little with my Jamison Crowder. I still think there's a very real chance that Jamison Crowder is that slot guy. We've seen him do it year after year after year. He's great at it. So I don't want to discount the fact that it very well could be Jamison Crowder. That being said, in the most recent drafts I've done, I've drafted some Isaiah McKenzie just in case he is that guy, that the reports coming out of camp are there for a reason. And we'll find out tonight. Like we will see tonight which one of those guys is the preferred slot option. Peng, do you have a preference between these two?
I think we're all in the same boat. I think we all took Crowder first because, he was a pretty solid receiver. But I think the answer is going to be McKenzie is the guy. I think that Crowder is like an insurance program where, they probably saw what happened with Emmanuel Sanders last year with Gabe Davis. They're probably saying, we probably should start our younger guys to see what we got. Worst case scenario, we got Crowder, who's a veteran that knows what to do. And I think that's probably the case. I think we'll see a lot of McKenzie. And then if he just happens to falter, then great. You know what you got in Crowder, and he takes over.
The good thing about this is if you drafted Isaiah McKenzie or Jamison Crowder, you probably didn't spend a whole lot of draft capital on getting them. And so you've got yourself, I wouldn't say a home run, but like a triple right there on your team that you got late. And that's what helps you win championships. So, and
the other good news is if you drafted these guys, you probably don't have to start them tonight while you're finding out. You can, they're probably totally fine on your bench unless you got real unlucky. Like you've got Allen Lazard and Chris Godwin, and they're both going to be out. Then maybe you plug Isaiah McKenzie in right there. But
some guy with those two guys plus Michael Gallup.
Yeah, like if that's your team right there. Before we move on to the next puzzle, Carlos in here said this is his team right here. He's got a 12-team half PPR, 3 wide receiver left. Starting, he has Diggs and Pittman. For his third, he's having trouble deciding between Kirk, Collins, and Michael Thomas. So Christian Kirk, Nico Collins, and Michael Thomas. Joey, where are you going here?
So I am going Michael Thomas. I know that there's a little bit of injury risk and whatnot. I do love the matchup for Christian Kirk, though. Wow, do I love that matchup. But I'm going Michael Thomas. I think him and Jameis could have something really special this year. And at Atlanta is the perfect place to debut that. So let's go.
Peng, what do you think here? Do you agree with him that it's Michael Thomas, or are you going Kirk or Collins?
I think Michael Thomas is fine, but I'm going to go with Christian Kirk. I feel Christian Kirk has the great matchup. He's stepping with a year 2 quarterback, this receiver that just came in that is supposed to help take this team to the next level. I'm hoping, and I know I hate doing player comps, but it's one of those things of like maybe Christian Kirk is like the Stephon Diggs or the Keenan Allen, where this guy went kind of underrated and he gets a new quarterback and things just look really good. Give me Christian Kirk. I'm not the biggest Kirk guy by any means, but the situation's so good. He has the potential to be the one, and he's likely not going to share with anyone besides maybe Jones, one of the two Joneses, right? Or ETN. I think Michael Thomas is stuck sharing with Landry, Kamara, whatever tight end is actually going to start, and with Chris Olave. And if Michael Thomas gets that AJ Terrell treatment, that's just tough for me.
That's a great point.
So give me Christian Kirk. I feel like he's just going to have an easier path to getting that touchdown too, and the flat points for it.
This one's tough for me. I do think I'd lean Michael Thomas, and it may just be if Michael Thomas is healthy and on that field, I want to play him. And it's not a bad matchup, but you did mention AJ Terrell. That could cause a problem for Michael Thomas, but I lean that way. It's close, right? There's some unknowns for both of these guys.
Yeah. I do think that Jacksonville team is going to want to show up with first game without Urban Meyer.
I hope they show up. Jacob in here wants to know who would win in a Michael Thomas for James Conner trade. Give me James Conner. I don't even need to see any other context. Probably James Conner. He's got it. I just think that's the answer for me. Peng, are you going James Conner? Or are you going Michael Thomas?
It's got to be James Conner, man. Running backs are just such a premium. James Conner's numbers are so efficiently that's everyone's expecting regression, and sure he gets that regression, but he's still a starting running back for a team that has Kyler Murray. That's gonna make people second guess to come after him. So, and he's just good at pass catching and overall a decent runner.
Yeah, guys, I see all these questions in the chat. We're going to get to some more of them before the show ends. But after this at 4:15 Eastern time, we are on me, Joey, and I think JL might be popping in for a minute as well to answer your fantasy questions for week 1. And that's all we're doing there. We got nothing else to do besides answering your fantasy football questions. Let's do it. Let's get into this next puzzle, though.
Right.
Oh,
I want to spin the wheel.
Which puzzle are we going to do next?
Movie mashup.
Oh, it actually is no, this is not a movie mashup. I'm going to do another horrible team name is what I want to do. So we're going to do this one right here. This is a horrible fantasy football team name. Who solved that last one? Joey solved that last one, even though Pang made some bank. Make sure you guys are back in the private chat. And then Pang, are you ready for your first question, or would you like to solve?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to solve any of this thing. So give me a question. I need every letter up there.
Okay, my question for you is, who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Cortland Sutton or was it George Kittle?
Cortland Sutton.
I'm sorry, it was George Kittle. Even in fewer games, but I guess the quarterback situation held Cortland Sutton back a little bit last year on that yardage. Joey, that means we're coming to you. Are you ready for your question?
Yes.
Okay. Who had more receiving yards last season, Joey? Who had more receiving yards? Was it Chase Claypool or was it Zach Ertz?
Zach Ertz.
I'm sorry, it was Chase Claypool with 860 yards to Zach Ertz 763 in 2021. I got it right in front of me. Maybe I read it wrong, but I'll double check. Which means, Pang, we're back to you. Would you like another question?
Yeah, give me a question, please.
Okay. My question for you is, we're going to do some more receiving yards. Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Darnell Mooney or was it DK Metcalf?
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney's absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
M.
An M. There are no M's in this puzzle, which means we're going on to Joey. Joey, would you like a question?
I'd like a question. It's like a marathon. Oof.
This is like a marathon. Lots of questions. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Tim Patrick or was it Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry.
I'm sorry, it was Tim Patrick with 734 to Hunter Henry 603. That was a dirty one. That one was a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Pang, are you ready for your question?
Yeah, sure.
Also, everyone, I see the questions in the chat. If we don't have time to get to them on this show, make sure to come to office hours right after this, and we'll answer each and every single question you've got. But we'll still get to some of them before the end of the show. Who had more receiving yards last season? Pang, was it T. Higgins or was it Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is correct, though they weren't super far apart. I guess about 400 yards. That's pretty decent right there.
I think T. Higgins barely got 1,000, as I remember.
He got 1,091, I believe.
Yeah.
1,091, and then Jamar Chase got 1,455. So that's actually a very big gap.
Yeah.
Which letter would you like?
Give me an S, please.
An S. There's no S in this.
Someone just bonk the crap out of me, please.
Yeah, guys, Pang wants someone to bonk the crap out of them. So whoever wants to do that, just let us know in the chat. I also see Dustin in here with Olave Gardens. We've had that one on the show before. We've had Olave Gardens on here.
Yeah.
But that is not this one. Oh, and Strong Style Ninja's bonking you.
Ugh.
Whoa.
My life points.
There was a cat behind Davis a second ago, and now it's gone.
Oh, yes, my two cats. They run around, and they jump up here, actually. You guys just might not see them. I'll lift them up one day.
Whose turn is it? I completely forgot.
Joey's
turn. Joey, would you like a question?
I'd like a question. I can't buy a vowel, can I?
No. Joey, who had more rushing yards last season? Okay. Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Sony Michel or was it Tony Pollard?
Sony Michel.
You are absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Is Sony Michel. Joey, which letter would you like?
I'm going to take a T.
T. There are no T's in this puzzle.
Wow.
No T's. Pang, are you ready for your next question?
Yes.
This is painful.
Okay. Who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it A.J. Dillon or was it Melvin Gordon?
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon's absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
My boy, Melvin Gordon. Give me an L, please.
An L. There are no L's in this puzzle. Joey, are you ready for your question?
Sassafras. That's this puzzle.
Also, Strong Style Ninja saying WTF. Just all the letters. Not a single letter guessed properly so far.
Yeah.
Joey, are
I
you
would
ready
like
for
a
your
question. Yeah.
Okay, who had more rushing yards last season? Who had
Okay.
more rushing yards last season? Was it Damian Harris or was it Leonard Fournette?
Oh, that's tricky. But I'm gonna say Fournette.
I'm sorry, it was
And I'd be
Damian
wrong?
Harris
Yeah.
with
Oh, I actually thought of
929 to Fournette's 812. Peng, we're coming back to you. Which letter would you like? Well, first, would you like to answer a question?
Answer a question, please.
Okay. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? So we're talking touchdowns right now. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Was it Ezekiel Elliott or was it Leonard Fournette?
Leonard Fournette.
I'm sorry, it was Ezekiel Elliott with 10 to Leonard Fournette's 8. Joey.
Yeah, let's go. It's a question.
Okay, who
Let's
had
get
more
this
rushing
puzzle solved.
touchdowns
I
last
had a better
season,
shot
Joey?
just guessing names.
Yeah.
Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Was it Jalen Hurts or was it Deebo Samuel?
Oh my god.
Debo.
I'm sorry, it was
God.
Jalen Hurts with 10.
That was
Deebo
so hard.
Samuel's 8. Also, people in the chat with some guesses. PRH said
Z. Yeah, I know. We're so sorry, guys.
The Dame wants to know, is it all vowels? And then Strong Sound then said, ah!
That would be a terrible team name. Or actually, probably a really good one, actually.
I'm gonna change one of my team names tonight to just
Jimmy. Never mind.
Peng, we are back to you. Are you ready for your next question?
Yeah, just give me the questions, man. Just give me the questions.
Who had more receiving touchdowns last season? So receiving touchdowns. Who had more receiving touchdowns? Was it Justin Jefferson or was it Tyler Lockett?
You said receiving touchdowns?
Yes.
Tyler Lockett.
I'm sorry. It was
Dang
Justin
it.
Jefferson with 10 to Lockett's 8. I'm in your head now.
I thought I got
Yeah.
Lockett got 10. God dang it.
It's Aaron Jonestown because this show is such a massacre right now. Okay. Question, Simon.
Who had more receiving touchdowns,
Yeah.
Joey? Who had more receiving touchdowns? Was it Alan Lazard or was it George Kittle?
Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard
Thank
is
you.
correct.
R.
It is
R.
correct. Joey, I hadn't said correct yet. I could have just
you
pulled the
could've.
rug out from under
You wouldn't do
but
that to me,
You
though.
are right. You would like the R?
I saw it in your eyes that I was right. R. Yeah.
Is it
There are two
Oh.
R's in this puzzle, Joey. Gonna add $1,000 to your score.
I would like to buy an A.
Okay.
Should be like
There are
7 A's.
3 A's in this puzzle, and there are no more vowels. So you got lucky with the vowel that you picked, unless you knew there was an A right there. Would you like another question or would you like to solve?
Another question, please.
Okay, another question. My question for you is who had more, we're going to go with targets. Who had more targets last season? Was it Brandon Cooks or was it T. Higgins?
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks is correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
No.
No.
I
I want to go with a C.
There is one C
Yeah,
in
I
this
got
puzzle.
that.
Going to add 500 to your score.
I need a question.
Okay. And Joey, this is your third question, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
so I can bank after if I will. Yeah.
Joey, who had more targets last season? Who had more targets last season? Was it Travis Kelce or was it DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is correct with 163 targets last season to Travis Kelce's 134. Which letter would you like?
I'm
The chat is cracking me up right now trying to get the guesses to this. They are going wild trying to figure it out. Remember, the category is horrible team names.
gonna go with an H.
An H.
think that's what.
There are no H's in this puzzle, which means we're going to go back to paying. And you know what? I'm going to give a little bit of a hint on this one, just so you guys know. Instead of just horrible team names, you could arguably put this into the movie mashup category as well. Okay, so this is a horrible team name, but you could arguably put it into the movie mashup category as well for this one. Peng, would you like a question or would you like to solve?
Question, please.
Okay, my question for you is who had more targets last season? Who had more targets last season? Was it Mike Williams or was it Dalton Schultz?
Mike Williams?
Mike Williams is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
Can I get a D?
B. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 D's in this puzzle. Dave is going to add 2,000 to your score. Would you like to solve? Would you like another question?
I can solve.
Yes.
Daddy day car.
It is Daddy Day Car is the answer to this puzzle. Nice job, Dave.
Good job, Pang.
I was thinking, it has to be something with D at this point because the car is up on the board. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's going to add 2,000 to your score. And the chat got it right around the same time. Tim, Dame, Dustin, Mr. Scampers, and Carlos said, God, this is so bad. And JL is saying, he told me this puzzle ahead of time, and I still couldn't get it. Yeah, I did tell JL this one.
When you said the movie thing, I was like, oh, I guess this makes sense now.
It's just, it's a lot of D's and a lot of R's and a lot of Y's and a lot of A's and just one C. Just
one it's pretty consolidated. Oh, and people are hating this team name here. Just saying it's terrible, except for JL saying that's such a good name. Love some Daddy Day Car right there. Let's.
Oh my God, I'm getting mopped here today.
Yeah, before the show, Davis said to me, "Oh, good, I'm playing the game that I'm worst at. I'm glad I'm coming on to lose today." And then he just comes in here and just absolutely wrecks it. Let's load up that next puzzle. We've got time for one more. Which one should we be doing right now?
The $4,000 puzzle.
The $4,000 puzzle. We'll just do the next one. This next one is going to be football terms. And this is like a crossword puzzle. So one of the words goes down, the other two going across. All of these are just football words. They are words from football. So that could be all over the place, but they are words from football. Pang solved that one, which means, Joey, we are going to start with you. Would you like a question?
Yeah, question.
Okay. My question for you is, who had more receptions last season? So we're going to receptions now. Was it Chris Godwin or was it Christian Kirk?
Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin's absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
T.
T. There's no T's in this puzzle, Joey. Off to a strong start.
I got the question right.
Yeah, you did. That's what really counts.
Yeah.
Hey, would you like a question or would you like to solve?
Give a question, please.
Okay, my question for you is, who had more receptions last season? Who had more receptions? Was it Deontay Johnson or was it Marquise Brown?
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson's absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
P.
P. There are no P's in this puzzle. I'm sorry. Joey, we're on to you.
Question.
Would you like another question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who had more rushing attempts last year? So who had more rushing attempts? Was it Austin Eckler or was it Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones.
I'm sorry. It was Austin Eckler with more rushing attempts last year, which means, Pang, we are back to you. Would you like a question?
Yes, sirs.
Who had more rushing attempts last season? Who had more rushing attempts last season? Was it Josh Jacobs or was it Leonard Fournette?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is absolutely correct. I thought that one was a little bit tricky. You got it, Pang. Which letter would you like?
An S.
An S. There are no S's in this puzzle. I'm sorry. I swear this one I picked it because I thought there were more letters in it. Maybe I'm just bad at this. Joey, are you ready for your question?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go with some passing yards. Who had more passing yards last season? Who had more passing yards last season? Was it Derek Carr or was it Kirk Cousins?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is correct with over 4,800 passing yards last year. Which letter would you like?
I know that because I watched the 7 to 10 morning show this morning. R.
Ooh. An R. There's no R in this puzzle.
Is it Daddy Daycare like 3 times? Is that what this is?
It's just Daddy Daycare over and over again.
The portion of this.
Are you ready for your question, Pang?
Yes.
Who had more passing yards last season? Was it Matt Ryan or was it Jalen Hurts?
Shoot. Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
M.
There are 2 M's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000 to your score. What would you like to do next? Would you like to buy a vowel?
Questions.
You want another question?
Yes.
Okay, my question for you is, who had more passing touchdowns last year? Who had more passing touchdowns last year? Was it Carson Wentz or was it Ryan Tannehill?
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz is correct. Davis, which letter would you like?
Can I get an H?
An H. There are no H's in this puzzle. 2 questions right. Joey, you want a question?
Mhm.
Who had more passing touchdowns last season? Was it Dak Prescott or was it Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
I'm sorry, it was Dak
Prescott.
Prescott
No.
with 37
He had like
last
37.
year
Yeah.
compared to Joe Burrow's 34. It was a little bit closer than I usually make them. Peng, are you ready for your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here is my question for you. Who had more passing touchdowns last season? Who had more passing touchdowns last season? Was it Baker Mayfield or was it Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo is correct by about 6 touchdowns. Which letter would you like?
Can I get an N?
An N. There are no N's in this puzzle. Man, I'm sorry. This one is brutal. Joey, you ready for your you ready for your
Look at all
question?
the letters that are God.
Guys, you're getting so much trivia. If you wanted to know head-to-head statistics going into
Yeah.
tonight's game, we got you covered on today's show right now.
What?
And a reminder to everybody watching, we're going to be doing office hours right after this. I saw some of your questions and they're 4:15. So make sure you come over there and hang out with us. Ask all your
Yes.
questions. We will get those answered. Joey, we're going back to just some PPR fantasy points from last
Yes.
season. Who scored more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Christian Kirk or was it KJ Osborne?
Christian Kirk.
That is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
L.
An L. There are 2 L's in this puzzle, Joey. Going to add 1,000. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like another question or would you like to
I
solve?
need to get money. Question, please.
Okay, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it CeeDee Lamb or was it Keenan Allen?
CeeDee Lamb.
Bonkum.
It is Keenan Allen. I'm sorry,
that's-
Joey. That is incorrect. I thought you were right for a second. I wasn't trying to trick you. Peng, are you ready for your question?
Yes, sir.
Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Antonio Gibson or was it AJ Dillon?
Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson's absolutely correct. Would you which letter would you like?
Which letter would I like to miss this time? A D. It worked for me last game.
There's 1 D in this puzzle. Going to add 500. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like another
Yes,
question?
can I
or would
buy
you
a
like-
vowel? Oh,
Yes, you can.
should my money be resetted? I think I missed the last one.
What did you say?
That was one of my money should have been reset. Anyways,
Oh no, you keep your round bank even if you
Oh,
missed it. So
A. Give me
an
an A.
A. There's 1 A in this puzzle. Would you like to buy another vowel? Would you like a
And-
question?
An E.
An E. There are 2 E's in this puzzle. Going to subtract 200 more. Would you like to buy another vowel or would you like your next question?
I'll buy an O.
An O. I'm sorry, there are no O's in this puzzle, which means Joey, we're coming to you. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve or would you like to buy a vowel?
I know 2 of the words. I need questions though, because I gotta get money.
Okay, my question for you is who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? Was it Kenneth Gainwell or was it James Robinson?
James Robinson.
That's absolutely correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
B.
There are 2 B's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000 to your
Oh.
score. What's next, Joey? A vowel, a question?
I know it, but I need money, so I'm gonna take a question.
Okay, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Hunter Renfrow or was it Michael Pittman Jr.?
Hunter Renfrow.
That is correct by about 20 points. Which letter would you like?
F.
There
I'm
are
gonna
2
be short.
F's in this puzzle. So, Joey, it's only
know.
vowels left on the
Yeah,
board, so you can either solve or buy the vowels.
I'm
if you
not
would
gonna
like
lose
to.
more money. It's muff, audible, and fumble.
It is muff, audible, and fumble. Nice job, Joey, getting that one.
I made it
That's gonna-
respectable though. I made
You
it
did.
respectable.
It
Yeah.
is
You
now
should
a
have
final
won,
score
realistically.
of 6,000 to 5,000 on this game. Congratulations, Davis, for your Fantasy Fortune Championship today, my man.
Good job,
I
buddy.
only won because of Daddy, so that makes it fun. That makes it even funnier when you think about it. The triple D and Daddy day, yeah, 4 Ds and Daddy daycare is the only reason I won.
Paying with the daddy win. That is that's so on brand right there.
That is pretty
Also,
on brand.
Dustin in here got it a little while ago with muff, fumble, audible, and then said, I can't wait for them to have to say muff again over and over and over again. We got it in there a good 5 times right there. Guys, that is going to be it for us right now. But like I've said throughout the show, if you've got fantasy football questions for week 1 or general fantasy questions, coming over to office hours starting in less than 15 minutes, 4:15 Eastern time, right here on the same YouTube channel. Joey and I will be live answering your questions. Make sure to tune in then. Davis, thank you so much for joining on this afternoon, my man. It's an absolute pleasure streaming with you.
Oh, thank you guys. Every single time if I get the chance, I'll be on this. I'm gonna go get some chicken. I'm gonna go catch the office hours right after this.
Absolutely perfect. Guys, if you're not already following our friend Davis on Twitter, go and fix that right now. He's at PangsPicksFF. It is listed on the screen right below his wildly handsome face. So go on over there and follow him. And we'll see you guys in about 15 minutes. Until then, adios, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See
See you
ya.
soon.